Hello there, gaming friends. This is actually a little bit of a video to give you an introduction to Counter-Strike. Bit of a get started kind of thing. A lot of people have explained this to others, and I hope I can actually do the same thing for you to kind of get into the game. The main thing whenever you start playing Counter-Strike is that you kind of need to get used to basically the main issues with gunfire in it and recoil, and then maybe a little bit of actual grenades. So I want to talk about recoil in this particular video. What you want to do whenever you get started is really get into a private server, and well, you want to get into a private server, get yourself alone, no bots, no nothing, and just really get to try most of the guns that you can test out. A good one to really start with is the one I'm showing right now, the AK-47. The AK-47 has pretty heavy recoil, so you want to actually get yourself standing still and taking a couple of pot shots at the wall here. So you just want to stand still and burst fire. So whenever you burst fire, you'll see that you have an issue with the going up and to the right and then trailing back itself to the left. The easiest way to kind of get around this is just kind of practice that controlled burst. You want to actually make sure to traverse down and move yourself to the left, and then if you keep on firing, move back to the right. That way you'll kind of feel like you've got much more control over it. The range of the AK-47 really will affect this. You'll get a lot more spread, but at that kind of range, whenever you're kind of mid to close, you can actually get a really good idea of it. So what you want to do is kind of take a opportunity to kind of practice your strafing. You can see the actual crosshairs will spread when you're in motion, but you want to kind of practice your burst fire with that same up to the right, to the left, and back down again. You want to kind of compensate for that in your controls. So we'll just take a couple more shots here. You can see that's what happens whenever you get that precision down. You get a nice spotting, pretty much which will hold from your first shot about head level if you're aiming correctly on it. And you can see this is consistent. It doesn't change. It's about controlling and maintaining. You'll find that you'll immediately become infinitely much more competitive. You notice that the range is a little bit off. You can see that it's pulling quite far away whenever you're actually using that distance, but you kind of want to be taking single shots rather than actually trying to use burst fire whenever you're in this situation. You see that you can actually probably pop off one or two shots and they'll actually be a lot clearer. You can have a lot more control and pick off your targets, and you really kind of avoid that recoil. You can either burst maybe 1, 2, 3, or take those really single shots and pop your opponent from a distance. Well, whenever you see that you can actually scroll strafe left and right, your reticles kind of snap back whenever you change directions, so it's a very good way of kind of popping off those one shots back and forth, and will allow you to actually control and hold back your enemy and actually be able to take them with a few if you get caught in the open. So one of the other tips I kind of want to put across to you is that remember that you actually do have footfalls whenever you're traveling in this, and they're very, very loud for anybody who's actually using professional headgear. It's a little bit less noticeable if you're sitting playing with a speaker system in front of you or whatever kind of way you have sound while you play games. But if you're playing against people who actually are using headsets, they can tell where and how you're coming at them. So you need to make sure to use the walk command or the walk key. Just hit that, and it'll kind of tighten up your shot as well a little bit, but it's more for the fact that you can be able to traverse around without being obviously heard before you turn the corner. Speaking of turning corners, one of the things you want to actually make sure is to keep your reticle about head height. You can see here that it's actually about head height, and whenever you turn the corners, make sure to actually track on the inside of the corner and snap to the outside one. It makes it a little bit easier if somebody is waiting for you and you've happened to run up to that corner and they may have heard you. It makes it easier to survive. It's proper clearing of corners in that particular case rather than actually bursting out into the rim. I've made plenty of mistakes of doing this in the past, so you might want to avoid it. And the same thing whenever you move on to the next corner, you've got possible points of people being able to attack you from. They could be up high, they could be down low. Can't really give you much more information on the AK-47. It's a cheap gun. It kills in one shot to the head. It has really simple single shot to it. The recoil is a bit much, but if you can master this gun, you're pretty much going to find it very solid whenever you try any of the others. This same process of actually testing out to find out what the recoil is like, you can do that in any gun in any of the maps like this. What I will do is actually give you a quick snippet here. This is actually the commands that you can type in whenever you're in a private server, and you go and look them up online. There'll be a full list that you can go and check out, and it'll tell you the names of all the guns and the basic commands that you can actually use to get infinite ammo and whatever else. It'll also allow you to turn on those dots that you could see whenever I was the paintball dots whenever I was shooting. So check out this list. There probably will be a link in the description to work from. So go check it out. Enjoy Counter-Strike, kill some people, and have a great time. Thanks for listening.